Hello to all you out there in YouTube land. It is good to see you again. We are in this series where we are exploring the arts, culture. We're contemplating what things are there in our surroundings, in our day-to-day interactions that might be creative, that might give us a kind of awakening, that might have some spiritual touch points, even if they themselves are not overly spiritual things. It seems like missionaries, like the Apostle Paul, would do this from time to time. And it certainly seems like it can be a good exercise for us. So we have looked at movies and music and novels and different things to try and stimulate conversation and stimulate this creative, artistic part of our brains. And I don't know about you, but I have been in the mood for something very lighthearted, comedic, and uncomplicated. So my recommendation for you today, something that we can check out together, is a movie from Disney called Blackbeard's Ghost. Now, this is what I would call classic Disney, circa 1968. It is in color. It is not animated. So when I say classic Disney, I mean more from my childhood. There seemed to be sort of a stretch of movies that Disney did, and this is kind of after the Walt phase of things, where they were comedic. They were sort of family friendly. They had some quirky elements to them, maybe even a few questionable elements. But for the most part, they were just trying to deliver a very simple plot, a very simple scenario, and to do so in a way that was a little bit more brain candy and not so much deep philosophical type material. This movie was made from source material. It's based upon a novel. I can't speak to the novel whatsoever, but I can say from time to time, my family and I will sort of look for things for family movie night. And of course, we've got a variety of ages. So we're looking for things that everybody down to our youngest can watch. And sometimes as we're perusing Disney and their streaming services, we're looking for older films that maybe our younger kids haven't seen yet, and maybe even movies that we haven't seen. And I came across Blackbeard's Ghost, had never seen it, had it sort of as a potential watch for a long time. And finally, one day, a couple of years ago, we bit the bullet and watched this movie. And I can say, if you're in the mood for some of the old slapstick, very much akin to The Love Bug or That Darn Cat or things like that. It's got some very familiar faces. You'll recognize Dean Jones in the lead. And the plot is very simple. He is taking a coaching job for the track team of a local high school, or is it college? I can't remember, but it's on a seaside resort in the area in those New England states where Blackbeard is still celebrated. And his first day there, he's looking for some lodging. He gets to stay at a classic old Blackbeard Inn. He takes part in some festivities, and he wins a little piece of parchment, or bids on a piece of parchment. Actually, it was a painting, I think, that had a piece of parchment in it, which just happened to be a spell, which he said in the suite, which was dedicated to Blackbeard's old room. And of course, it conjures up Blackbeard's ghost. Now, Dean Jones, as the track coach, is the only one who can see Blackbeard. So as you can imagine, it sets the stage for all sorts of bizarre comedic fun because he's always talking to somebody that nobody else can see, arguing with somebody that nobody else can see. And there's a couple of prime setups for this. One is when Blackbeard is tired of riding around in the car and he decides that he's going to try and take over, and he's fighting for the wheel, fighting for the gas pedal with Dean Jones. And of course, there's a motorcycle policeman who sees all of this happen. There's another setup where there is a track meet, and the track team is terrible. So Blackbeard kind of steps in to help the athletes and hinder the other athletes, the competitors. And if nothing else, my encouragement to you to see the movie is for one scene in particular towards the end. There is a dark element, a gang element that is trying to put local businesses out of business so that they can get them and make money off of them. And therefore, they're constantly sabotaging things. And there's some blackmail going on, and the track coach tries to settle things with the gang leaders, and he uses Blackbeard to his advantage. And there is a hilarious scene in this where Blackbeard takes the guns from all of the henchmen. They don't realize it. So when they get called on to pull their guns, they all just pull their fingers. And the track coach pulls his fingers too, and he says, okay, let's have a shootout. And every time he points his finger and says bang, one of the guys gets clubbed by Blackbeard, and they don't see it coming. So there's this weird fake shootout that happens where people are actually getting stunned and knocked out, and it's all timed with the Dean Jones saying bang bang with his fingers, and other people try and do it with their fingers. I was uproariously laughing, actually embarrassing our youngest son, even though it was just us in the living room, just the family. It was just kind of one of those anecdotes that I needed. There's an interesting, Blackbeard is not necessarily a good guy, and I would say that Peter Ustinov, who plays him, does an excellent job of the tension between being sort of a villain, but also kind of stepping into the role of a helper and a anti-hero, maybe. And there's a wonderful churn by Suzanne Plachette, who I don't see in a lot other than the Bob Newhart show. So it was just a lot of fun, very lighthearted, very simple. You don't have to take it too seriously. But it reminds us just how absurd the world actually is, how much help we actually need in our day-to-day lives, and that there are unseen dimensions and some unseen forces that are at work, even though in the movie it certainly plays those up for comedy. So I would recommend that you check out Blackbeard's Ghost, even if it's just for that one scene toward the end. You can obviously find this on Disney Plus, and it should be there, I would assume, for quite some time, as it is Disney property. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've seen it, if you watch it, if you liked it, what your favorite scenes are, what you think of the cast and their performances. It is total cheese. I mean, definitely a cheese whiz kind of movie. But sometimes those are fun in just a throwback sort of way. If you have other recommendations, let me know. Any books, movies, songs that we could talk about and contemplate together. But keep watching, keep paying attention to the culture around you, keep contemplating, and I hope that you stay well. I hope that you stay on the path of love. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video soon.